cognizant of your time. Hi everyone, this is my Zoom call for my Way to Grow group, and I'd like to say way to go. Okay. One of the things that we're just sharing is what our Octobers are becoming or are already done, which hopefully we're getting close because of course we need to get everything out there and get it all done and have a great October to have, of course, a great November and December. And one of the things that I would like to challenge you, our idea is always to get two bookings from each show, okay? Or each party that we do. I gotta stop calling it a show. It's a party and it's a cooking class, okay? But we always wanna look for 2 bookings from each of those because then we're doubling our business. And then once we've got 2 solid months worth of straight, 8 to 10 in each month, it's amazing. You never have to think about bookings again. You will have more than enough to be able to sign up your recruits and not think, oh my gosh, that's 3 parties that I'm not going to be able to do, because sometimes it comes into our thinking and it stops us from really moving forward with recruiting the way we should, because we think, how is it going to affect my business? When you have enough, you don't even think twice about it. All right, that's where you want to be. You want to be in the position of 2 to 3 months booked out. And how many of you are, Megan? Put your there you go. I want to see your. Oh, you were eating. Sorry, all I saw was your eyes. That's great. So, how many of you are doing virtual shows? Anybody? Just one of us. Okay. I am learning how to do it because you know what? The old dog's got to learn a new trick here. Because you know what? I know a lot of people that are just so busy and they love Pampered Chef. So I'm going to approach them about a virtual show and I'm going to learn how to do it. And I took Becky Adams' class last Sunday night. And was any of you on there? Did you get to go on there? Okay. Well, were you on there, Martha?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. It was great information. Again, nothing I didn't know, but what she did was she put it all in one place because, of course, I've been working on learning how to do this for a while, even training on it, but not having done many of them myself. I wanna dive into that in October and November. But I don't believe that's where our future is, okay? People love, I was just at Executive Seminar a week and a half ago, or 2 weeks ago, and Tracy shared some statistics with us that I thought were really interesting. She said they send out a survey to hosts and to guests that give them a good email. And I know there's some parameters on who they're sending it to, whatever, but they're asking them some really solid questions. They said they like the demonstration. They like hearing all the tips and ideas from the consultants. Don't stop that. And when I started doing station shows and just set everything up and just was kind of in the background, I saw my bookings, recruit leads, and my sales go down, okay? So I do it a little differently. I like to say I'm large margin in charge, okay? And I'm the recipe reader, okay? Everybody, see if you smile, see, Tina? That's what everybody does. They just smile, I unfortunately fit the picture a little too much, but what I do is I read, I'm the recipe reader. I have it in a little plastic holder, plastic protector, and I say it's my job tonight to teach you how to use these products, but you're going to actually use them. And I have gloves at all the different stations. Not everybody participates. That's okay, you guys. That's all right. So, but what my job is to, number 1, make my job look easy. Number 2, give them enough information that they're going to feel like this night was valuable to them, okay? It was a night or an afternoon that was well spent away from their family. So they also said they don't like long checkouts, okay? So be careful. How many of you are doing the full service checkout? Be honest. Anybody? Okay. So just be aware. I personally, I don't do it because I have an average of 16 to 18 people at a show. If I spend 3 or 4 minutes with each one, that it's going to be longer than the show takes. So I really pick and choose, and you guys are experienced enough that you can really hone in on the people that you want to host with, or that you can see are excited about the product or the prospect. And if full service checkout is working for you, don't change it. Don't change a thing, okay? But for me, I just couldn't do it with my scenario, the way things set up. I really believe in host coaching, and I always make sure I can talk with my host at least 20 minutes on their first phone call, and really let her know that I'm a partner in success with her for this. And she's going to know what I will do and what I won't do, or that I'll always show up. And if for some reason I have an emergency, I have someone I have people that will back me up. I will never cancel the show. So in other words, what that says to me is, says to her is, I don't expect her to cancel on me either. And the other thing that you need to know is, if people are coming to their homes, they're probably not going to cancel, all right? I think the biggest reason to cancel for people is that they didn't send out the invitations early enough, or they didn't let people know soon enough. And I personally, the other thing, I won't do a show that I don't send out invitations for. I call it Happy Mail. I want people to know it's a personal invitation. And I found my party average went up almost $300 when I did that. Now I know that some people are doing things differently. To name it, if it's working for you and your situation, don't change a thing. But if something's not working, try something new. And I think that that was well said in this book, that to do some things differently. Nothing's going to change if you don't change what you're doing, okay? Mm-hmm. So I really want to challenge you to examine what you're doing. Is your shows as high as you want them to be? Are the guests, do you have enough guests there? Are you following up with customer care calls? Are you getting enough bookings and recruit leads? Because think of it this way, if you do 8 shows in a month, I'm going to talk some numbers with you. My background is accounting, so I'm always about the numbers, all right? If you're doing 8 shows with an average of 12 guests, that's 96 guests that you're going to see in a year. I mean, in a month, rather. So out of those guests, think of how many people could use some extra money, all right? I'm sure it's more than 2 or 3 at every show, right? At least you could broach the subject with 2 or 3. Think about it. You got 12 people in a room. If you talk to 1 out of every 4 people that were on the street, how many would say they could use some extra money? Probably 1 out of every 2, right? I mean, everybody I know, could use some extra money. What we have to do is make what we do look easy enough and also enjoyable enough. All right. So my show is my station style show. The way I do it is on the website of that Patty and Marie and I do. It's pcteamtraining.com. All right. And the password is Sweet 16, all lowercase. So I'm not going to go into any more of what I'm doing, but I really feel it's a great balance between lecture and station style. People are putting their hands on the products, but at the same time, they're going out with enough information. And my job looks easy enough. And I want you to know I do pray about my business, and I ask the Lord to bless it. I ask Him, who can I serve today? So it's not all about me. It's about who I can serve and who I can help in their kitchen. And I like to say, whether you love to cook or hate to cook, we have to eat. And cooking becomes a life skill, doesn't it? All right. And they have proven that when younger kids are in the kitchen 3 to 4 times a week, helping with breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whatever it may be, that they're 80% more likely to cook when they grow older. Okay. And they won't be just a drive-through junkie. So really want to encourage you to encourage those households to train their children and train their kids on it's a life skill. There's no guarantee for my boys that their wife's going to cook. Now, my one son has become very blessed. His wife cooks like crazy. But she used to go to her grandma's on Saturday, and they used to cook together. She said, I had cooking lessons for years with my grandma. And she loves to cook today, and she's a phenomenal cook. So my one son, my daughter, her husband says, that the reason he married her was because she could cook. Okay. And my other son, who you just saw walk through with his girlfriend, I know Natalie cooks too. So we are very blessed to have people, but both of them can cook. I don't expect just one. So by saying those kind of things, it really encourages people at the shows to put a little more effort in. And the emojis, like I had one girl said, oh my gosh, that would mean that my kids would make a mess in the kitchen. I says, you know what? Buy some ready to go sugar cookie dough, cut it up into chunks, and have them push it down into the emoji. It doesn't have to be a mess. It doesn't have to. He said, but what would happen if you did pull out the Mixmaster and make sugar cookie dough? Are your kids going to remember that mom didn't want to take the time, or are they going to remember about a fun day that they had in the kitchen? So those are the kind of things that we need to remind people that they can make a difference in others' lives just by what they put on the table, okay? So this is really about recruiting. So I want to encourage you that if you hand out or touch 3 people at each show that you do, think about it. That's 3 times 8. It's 24 people. They say at least 1 out of every 10 are going to sign up. So you're going to have 2.5 recruits in spite of yourself, right? In spite of not thinking you're a recruiter, all right? Just by doing what you're supposed to do. And what I want you to do is I want you to pick out those people that are the life of the party. I want you to pick out those people. You know what? I'm just going to put you on mute so you don't have to worry about the dogs, Linda. Okay?
Thank you. Yes, they're puppies.
Yeah, no problem at all. Okay. So where was I? I have ADD really bad. I had ADD before they even knew about it. Tell me where I was.
Look for people who are the life of the party.
Thank you, Tina. Life of the party, the people where everybody's hovering around them, okay? Those are the people that know a ton of people, and that when you talk to them, they're going to say, absolutely not, I could not fit one more thing onto my schedule. But then when you talk to them about your reality of, well, I average $180 a night, they go, what? All of a sudden they've got 4 hours. And that's what I ask from people is, do you have 4 hours in a week to do a business that you can earn $500 to $700? Our party average is up to $600. It's $599 something, $600 a night. And that's across the country. And I know in Chicago it's higher than that. So that is really great news, you guys. Our party average was $450 a couple of years back. It is almost $600. Well, you can just say it's $600, $599 and change. That is great news, because in reality, a lot of people turn in shows as cooking shows that are catalog shows or other things that are really low parties, that really they're not cooking shows, okay? So so that's good news for all of us. But even at $600, at 25%, that's $150, okay? It's $150 of income. I was done with my show, set up to in the car leaving in less than 3 hours. Okay, and it was $700 show this afternoon, and she's nowhere near being finished with her orders. So in 3 hours' time, if I had an average show, $180, it's $60 an hour, you guys. It's great money. And I probably spent a half an hour coaching her. That first phone call is important. Almost everything else I do through email and through texting. All right. So, and you can do the same thing. When you connect with someone with recruiting, you want to either talk with them or meet with them. And what I like to do is I like to have a conversation with them, not necessarily in front of all their friends. Okay, let's start with the first person that I talked about was the life of the party. Nobody comes to one of these things thinking that they're going to want a job. Very few. I wouldn't know anybody that does. Okay, so by telling them in the next day or two, it will show that they're time worthy. That you're taking your time to call them and to talk to them about something that you see in them that would be perfect for our business. Okay, and the first person, like I said, is the life of the party. The second person is the person who really, you can tell she's hovering or he's hovering, loves to cook, loves the products, you know, that you can just, they're helping you, they get there a few minutes early and they stay late to help you clean up your dishes, okay? By the way, I do my dishes at the show. I don't want to lug my dishes in my house. I'm sorry. I do the show. I tell them I need 5 to 7 minutes to clean up the table. And I have soapy water ready to roll super hot when I started my show so that it's perfect. I put my stuff all in there. I go take orders. Half the time, those dishes are all done by the time I get over there. But lots of times I've recruited more people by that sink, that kitchen sink, than you can imagine. Because people are coming up alongside you and they're saying, oh my gosh, this was so fun tonight. And I go on, you know, and I'll just talk with them, just have a conversation. There isn't 2 conversations that have ever been the same. And that's what I want you to know. Be natural with people. Be yourself. They're talking to you because they like you, they trust you, they want to talk with you. Just talk to them like a regular conversation. There's no magic words, you guys. But there is some personality traits or some things that I look for in people that really are a great match for Pampered Chef. So the life of the party, the person who really likes to cook or who really loves our products, and then I've become a great eavesdropper. Okay, I listen in to whose kids are all in, you know, oh my gosh, I have 4 kids in travel ball or dance or this or that. And I want you to know that there is magic in those words, because you can talk to them the next day and say, you know, I couldn't help it, but here, you know, Martha, I heard your 3 kids are in dance and it's costing you $500 a month. Is it tough on your budget? You know, if you did what I do just 1 time a week, you would more than pay for all that. Would something like that, would that interest you? Or maybe being a virtual consultant, not even leaving, just having things, put it in Post My Party, and it's all done for you. I mean, you're adding some comments. I'm going to be really blunt here. The reason I didn't do virtual shows is because at the beginning they were doing them in an hour, and I'm not a fast typist. So that totally intimidated me that I wouldn't be able to reply to all the comments and do all the tickets and do all this stuff. And so I said, I can't do this. This isn't for me. But the way they're doing it now over a week's time, you guys really look into this. It's an added way. It's like replaces the catalog show. Does that make sense? The live cooking shows where you're really going to connect with people. Although, you know, Charlotte Nagai and Becky Adams, they have recruited all their people from virtual shows. So I have to also say this is an opportunity. How do you guys feel about the virtual show? Anybody doing them at all?
I am, but I feel like the sales are a lot smaller, and I don't always get too many bookings, maybe 1 or 2.
Okay.
We've done like 4 or 5 shows so far. I have 2 starting tomorrow, so we'll see.
Okay, and are you doing it where it's for the over like
10 days?
10
A
days.
week to 10 days, depending on the people.
Okay.
Some people like to make it over a week so that they get a pay period in.
Yes, I think that's really, really smart. And don't be afraid to go live on there. Okay, I think you know what? I think people need to see us, you know, and do, you know, talk to them, and especially at the beginning, say, hi, you know, my name is Nancy Joe, and I want to welcome you to our week-long virtual show. You know, you're going to see a lot. Tell them what they're going to see, what they're going to experience. And I think the live component makes you come alive, you guys. And I don't think Becky or Charlotte do that. I'm not sure if they didn't say that they did that. But for me, I think that it becomes more personal. And you're touching them. You're building that relationship, which we all know that is so, so important. Is anybody else doing any virtual shows at all?
I've done 1.
You've done 1, Martha?
I got 1 booking, but she never followed through, and the sales weren't that great.
Yeah. You know, they're either $1,000 or they're $78. That's what my experience for people have been. Here's what I'm telling people with that. Like one gal said to me, I had 310 people invited to one, and I had 326 invited to another. The one with 310 people, and you invite them to an event, and then they get the post, anybody who says yes, they want to come. Because that would really, if they just invited all the people that they knew, that would get really blowing up people's Facebook when they didn't want it would not be good. But anyway, she said, I don't know what I did wrong. I coached them the same. I did the same exact posts. One show was over $1,000 and the other show was $78. And I said, well, I think it's as much as important that the host gets super involved. You know, if the host just does it and doesn't ever post anything or doesn't ever interact, her friends aren't going to either. But the one thing I do know is that group that does like to buy that way, with the $1,000, I said what I would do is I would absolutely go back to them every 6 to 8 weeks with a different show featuring different products, featuring different ideas, because you know that group likes to buy that way. All right. So, and you can ask, you know, who else on this group would like to earn some products? Who would like to do a show in 6 to 8 weeks? And we can learn together. Let me help you equip your kitchen. We all know that everybody can't buy everything they want. So let me help you equip your kitchen. And you can do this even with groups of people called Dining Divas or whatever you want to call it. They've done it for years, and that's just a great way to have every single person. Usually you do it 10 months out of the year with a group of 10 people plus you, okay? And what you do is you have a show with the same group of people featuring some different food, different products, whatever, and each one of them takes a turn at being the host, all right? And they're committing to buying, you know, $30 or $40, whatever you decide it is. They're committed to buying that much for that night. And if for some reason they can't come, they can send someone else or they can just place their order. And whoever the show who's doing the hosting that night, they can also invite other people, okay? And they can build their show through work, through extra things. That's just a great way to do it continuous. Now that group is going to be done in a year, all right? Well, sometimes they keep going because they become buddies now and they want to just learn new recipes. They cook together. They have the evening, and it's done in about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. And but everybody gets a chance at hosting, and so that's one way to do things. I know Lynn Gant started that years ago, and she went overseas, and her group continued to meet even without her. Okay, so it was great. But it's just another way. You can do it with church groups. You can build a church's kitchen. Call your fire departments. There's so many people. Call businesses right now to see if you can meet with the HR or the person who gives holiday gifts. Because like someone just approached me and said, you know what, I need a bunch of holiday gifts for my employees. And she says, I just want to be able to put a little something. They all get their bonuses, but to just give them a little something. I said, how about the mix and chop? Everybody loves a mix and chop, and if they've got one, they can give it to someone they know. It's just a great product. It's $12. You know, and what happens if there's, 100 employees there? It's a $1,200 show, isn't it? Okay. So, it's the kind of thing that, be wise about it, be wise and market yourself to as many people as possible. And then tell people you love referrals. All right. Referrals are key to your business. And you always are very generous with gift certificates with referrals. Okay. Now, guys, I always tell people if it's a recruit referral, when they qualify, I send a $25 gift certificate only through me. You know what I mean? So you're earning the income. It's not going to cost you $25, et cetera. But have other people market yourself for you. Okay. So I know that some people were a little, not complaining, but they were a little worried they weren't going to be able to go through all 3 chapters. So we're just going to go through the first chapter tonight, just because there was only a week and people were just getting their books and all that kind of stuff. Does everybody have this book now?
I read it online.
You read it online. What did you think, Tina?
I liked it. I didn't quite finish the 3rd chapter, but I really liked that at the end that they have the exercises to work on. I didn't quite get them done yet, but I like to have that. So it really helps you really work on meeting your goals.
Yeah. And how about Stacy? How about you?
I didn't get it.
You didn't get it yet? Well, you
No,
can
I didn't.
download it for free, just to let you know.
Right. I plan to do that. I'm a librarian, so I read really fast.
Oh, no problem.
Well,
No problem.
I'll catch up.
Yeah, it's no problem. It's really about, and like I said, I know I threw it at you really fast, so that's why I was saying, well, we can just do 3. But you know what? I know that we're going to keep this group going because this is my core group of people that want to grow, and I know Sunday nights are really bad for some people, so it's okay. I mean, I'm just going to let people come back and watch it, and hopefully there'll be some more people on. Every national is doing their own thing with their people. But what I'd love to talk about is applying the law of intentionality in your life. This chapter really spoke to me because of, we all think we're going to do something a certain way, a certain time. And in fact, I just did my daily vitamin. Do you guys hear the daily vitamins? From Karen Josepha. There's actually 20 executives that do them, and I'm the first Monday of the month all the time. And mine was a little long this month. I mean, it's normally supposed to be 3 to 5 minutes. Mine is 10. And I just want you to know, I was just with all the advanced directors and senior directors that are in the Lead Plus program down at the home office this week, and people were concerned, and some people were even upset about the fact that they've been with the company so long and aren't further along. And I really believe a title is just that. It's just a word. What matters is, are you making the income that you want to make for your family? That's the most important thing. Because it took me 28 months to go from director to advanced director. That's a long time. I went 5 months later, I was a senior director. 9 months later, I was an executive. And 14 months after that, I was what a national would be today, okay? So it took me 28 months to get to advanced director, and then it took me 28 months to become a national from advanced director. So, it took me all that time to promote 2 people and the same amount of time to promote 14 more. 1 which was an executive, 2 that were senior directors, 4 was advanced. To become a national back then, that's what we had to do. Today, it's totally different. You only have to have 1 advanced director on your team out of the 8 or 12 directors. So think about that. 28 months to do 2, and I was doing the same amount of shows, I was doing the same amount of activity. It was my belief and the people's belief in if they could recruit. And that's what this is all about, okay? But growth doesn't just happen. I was doing things a certain way, and eventually it happened. And that's my point in that, okay? And does everybody, or I should say, do you, let me make it personal, do you try to read something almost every day that's going to grow you? As a librarian, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
Well, I'm also in a director program with Kim Gant right now.
Oh,
and
good.
So is Tina. And so I don't know what Tina's reading, but right now I'm reading Take the Stairs.
Oh, yes. By Rory Beatty.
I just finished that.
And you know which book I like even better than Take the Stairs? The Slight Edge.
Yeah, we've already done that one. That was awesome.
Wasn't it? That's one of my very favorite books. The Slight Edge, because what makes one person that's doing 2 shows a week recruit 15, 20, 25 people in a year, and another person that's doing 2 shows a week only recruit 3 people in a year? What is the difference? They're both doing the same job. They're both great at what they do, or they wouldn't be getting that many bookings, right? The difference is one is really looking for their next recruit. One is really looking and intentional. To me, if I host Coach well enough, my bookings and my sales are going to be there. I don't even have to think twice about them. I am there at the show to make sure everybody has a great time, and I'm looking for my next recruits, and even more specific, my next directors. And that's how focused you need to be. And I always tell people I'm looking for people for my management team. So if you love management, I would love to work with you. I will help you get to management super fast. In fact, some people 30 to 90 days. When you think about my story, I didn't recruit at all for my first 3 months. Not one person marked the box. Not one person did I approach, because I wasn't going to be here after Christmas. Okay. When I decided to come back and or restart the business, really, because in my mind I quit. But when I came back, I said, you know what, if this is working for me, why wouldn't it work for others? And in 3.5 weeks, I had 5 people. Now, I want you to know, at that time, the most anyone had ever even recruited in a year was 7.
Wow.
Yeah. So we didn't know how to do anything. It's nothing like today, where there isn't a thing that hasn't been explored today. All right. There isn't a thing that you can't learn. Somebody's got it in writing, on video. It's everywhere. Not even somewhere, but everywhere. Okay. Right. So in 3.5 weeks, I recruited 5 people. Those people all qualified. That's the other thing we used to have to do, is qualify every single person before they counted towards our directorship. All 5 of those people qualified in the month of March, between the end of February and month of March, and I was appointed April 1st. So I was technically appointed within my 6 months, okay? But not because I worked on it for 6 months. I worked on it for 4 weeks. And then in a 4-month time frame, I had 11. And then the following year, I qualified 20. And the following year after that, I qualified 38. Now, I've never had another year even close to 20. I built a foundation, and that foundation is what has gotten me where I'm at today. I've recruited over 200 people. I've, done 1,400 shows, but I probably will never hit the million. Okay? But that's not where my focus is at. My focus is in building people. I've already got the watch, right? But growth doesn't just happen. What activities do you feel like you can change to make growth happen in your life? Oh, we've got somebody down here. Oh, let me unmute you, Linda.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Is anybody, after reading about the law of intentionality, growth doesn't just happen, is there something that you're changing, something that you're doing different this week, or that you want to do different? And want to is fine. I mean, that's okay, because we got to want it first before we can do it, right? We got to just try it and start it,
I think just taking the time to really work on taking the time to think about it, to really make it intentional and really set time aside on your calendar. I think that's really important.
Yep. Even 15 to 20 minutes of planning every day makes all the difference in the world. And in fact, if you can do that the night before you go to bed, you won't think about all the things you have to do, because it's down on paper. I still use a paper calendar because it helps me stay focused on the things that I need to do. Now, it's also on my electronic calendar, so it can be with me at any place. I never take my paper calendar with me. But when I'm at my desk, I have written down, I need to call X, Y, and Z, and with just having received the responsibility for all the Ullman team and the Mannion team this year, because the company was taking care of the Mannion team, and they changed that this year. It was like totally overwhelming. I have 62 directors in my first gen to take care of, and 478 people. So how do you even begin? I mean, but you know what? It's one day at a time. It's one step at a time. I realized that if I call 3 directors every day, I've got my 62 people down, because there's 21 days, 22 days in the month. So how do you have to break things down to make you successful? Is what to make you feel like you're moving in the right direction, because you are successful if you're doing 8 shows in a month. But we want to help you be more successful. We want get down from it. Get down. Sorry, my cat was being naughty. So yes, just like kids. They're kittens, so they're still learning. But what? Pardon me?
At least they're quiet.
Yes, oh yeah, they are very quiet. Sometimes too quiet. I gotta go look for them. Where are you at? So what else are you changing? Megan, are you changing anything?
No.
Megan?
Yeah, not right now.
Not right now, not yet. Okay. Marlene, Martha, is there anything that you guys have been trying to change? Or anybody can answer.
I just need, oh, excuse me, go ahead.
I'm trying the 10-minute booking diet, and I can also relate that into recruiting as well. Every day I spend 10 minutes doing something business related, as far as sending letters out, making customer care calls, past host calls, et cetera, et cetera.
Awesome. And don't be afraid to text people. Hey, how's that manual food processor working? At your shows, have everybody pull out their phones and say, okay, we're gonna do a little game here. Pull out your phone. When everybody's got them out, say, okay, go to contacts, and then I want you to put Pampered Chef Nancy Joe and my phone number, because I'm gonna call you. The sale doesn't end tonight. I'm going to call you to find out how those products are working for you. And I'm going to give you some personal ideas on the things you purchased, okay? So I want you to know that this is going to come with some customer care calls, because I want to make sure that they're working properly in your kitchen, all right? And if you make just a couple of those a day, it's amazing what happens in the relationships you build. And people that would have never had a party, all of a sudden have a party with you, okay?
Nancy, at what part of the show do you do that? Do you do that at the end?
You know, I do the hands-on around the kitchen, the table or the island, and then when we go into the living room and it's the shop and share, I have them share their favorite product and how they know the host, and we go through the catalog back and forth. I tell them to find their favorite product in the catalog, and so that way we're flipping back and forth through the catalog. And I let them know that, you can look me in the eye. I'm not going to ask every person to have a show tonight, okay? You can make eye contact. They loved it. They all laughed because I said, I know what you're talking about. I said, really, I would love to be invited into your home. I'd love to do this with you and your family and friends, and I'm going to let you know all about it. And I kind of say that at the beginning of the show, but then at some point, I don't wait till the end of that shop and share. At some point when it's never the same twice. I never do the same show twice. I'll say, hey, let's play a quick game. And I have some old season's best. And the first one that gets it in there and calls me gets a season's best. And the other thing is I always take a picture of the food and we put it on her Facebook page. And I also tell them, hey, go to your Facebook pages and let's see if any of you knows anyone that needs anything from Pampered Chef. Let them know you're at a party. The first one that gets me an order gets a prize. And again, I give them a season's best, okay? What that does is some people have 4 or 5 people that want something. Oh my gosh, you're a perfect candidate to do a show. So talk about it, have them engage, and then, or maybe a virtual show. If they have that many people respond just in a 20-minute period, you'd be amazed. So, but definitely put them in. Nobody answers phone calls that they don't know the phone number to.
Right.
So it's going to show up as your name, Pampered Chef, and your name. It's one of the most important things I do because that's my future of my business. And I don't have a lot of time to spend on my personal business because my main job is working with all of you. So I have to be really intentional and make time to do that. Okay. So let me ask you this, applying the law of intentionality to your life. Let's talk about some of the gaps. Can you guys go to page 14 for those of you that have it, have the book? It says, which of the gaps discussed in this chapter have caused you to neglect growing in the way you perhaps could have? There's the assumption gap of I assume that I'll automatically grow. The knowledge gap, I don't know how to grow. The timing gap, it's just not the right time to begin. The mistake gap, I'm afraid of making mistakes. The perfection gap, I have to find the best way before I start. That's one of mine. Do you know, I always called myself a procrastinator, but what I found about 2 years ago, I read a book, I'm actually a perfectionist. So I don't start things because I never think I have enough time to finish it. And so then I'm always living in the urgent all the time, okay? There's the inspiration gap of I don't feel like doing it. Anybody with me there? The comparison gap, others are better than I am, or the expectation gap. I thought it would be easier than this. So anybody relate to any one of those or two of those?
4 and 5.
Two of them.
Number 4 and 5 of them, or 4 and 5 of them?
Number 4 and number 5.
Number 4 and number 5. Okay, so that would be the mistake gap or the perfection gap.
Yeah.
Okay. So after reading this, what do you feel that you're going to try and do something different?
I'm just gonna. I have to put myself out there.
Yeah.
I can't be afraid. You know, like he says in here, making mistakes means you're learning. You're growing.
Absolutely. I mean, what an Edison over 10,000 times he tried with the light bulb before he got it right. What if he would have only done 9,999? You know, so we just got to keep trying. That's the whole thing with the slight edge is not only do you keep doing it, you just do a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. So great, awesome. And then are you going to not wait to find the best way? Just going to go out there and do it?
That might be a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Want everything to be just right. So that's going to be a little more difficult, but yeah, make mistakes, just put myself out.
Yeah. How about, have you challenged yourself to go to PC University? And have you? Good. Because that's a really good place. So
yeah, I've been looking at some stuff there. So, and it is very helpful. Lots of information there.
yeah. And there's 2 new things that are on there. There's the how to have people do a strong start. The consultant's a guide to the consultant strong start. That is amazing. If you guys haven't dug into that, we talked about it last week on the Stir. And then the other thing that just came up on, I think it was either Wednesday or Thursday. It said there's a new director-bound program that they've really melded with the all the right language with that what's on PCU, with Consultant Strong Start. It's all done now. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I don't even think they've announced it, but it's there. Who else? Who else touched a gap?
I just need to stop comparing myself to other people. I think that's a big one for me.
That's a big one for you. And who's your biggest one that you're comparing yourself to?
Well, Kim Gant, because she's the queen.
She's the queen. Absolutely. But Kim's business wasn't always like it was today. Okay.
Right.
It was when she made those real direct decisions to make sure she's doing 2 shows a week. I mean, she has an amazing business. Absolutely. And it's just rolling, isn't it?
Right.
It's just rolling. And it's easier to stay busy than it is to do 1 or 2 shows a month. It absolutely is. Anybody else?
Well, I agree with Stacy. I'm always comparing myself to Stacy.
Oh,
She's the one I look up to. So besides Kim.
Stace? There you go. See that? You're the Kim Gant in her life.
No, we learn from each other.
Oh, well, that's great. So, who thought it would be easier? Anybody? No? A little bit.
Depending. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Well, sometimes it seems like people just go right up the ladder with no, like we hear about these 2 new executives and oh my gosh, they did it on virtual shows. Oh my gosh, well, that can't be hard. Oh, oh my gosh, why didn't I do that? Oh my gosh, but they have put in some definite energy into not only developing that show, but also helping others implement it. And so there's a lot of energy there. For them to have done that in 2 years, I mean, there's only been, I think, 3 or 4 other people that have gotten to executive in 2 years. It took me 4. So I just, I think that what he talked about, he's got it covered. In these, 8? Is it 8 gaps? 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. There isn't any part that he hasn't covered here in in my mind is for going forward. I mean, all the things that stop us are right there, okay? So are you reworking your calendar so you have an appointment with yourself for personal growth? If you read 10 pages a day, you will have gone through countless books in a year. If the average book is 150 to 250 pages, think about this. You're going to read 3,650 pages in a year. Okay? 3,000. So that's how many books? That's probably a dozen books or more. Wow, what would happen if we did that? And what would happen if we actually was on a treadmill at the same time? And we kick tooth, we'd melt away, wouldn't we? Because that's the thing I struggle with. I love to work, so I love doing this, and I love encouraging you and talking with my consultants, and it's not hard for me to do that all day long. It's hard for me to take time out for me. Okay, so those are the things that I need to work on. So hopefully you'll see me melting a little bit through this, because not only do I need to do things right in my business, but I also need to do things the correct way. Hi guys. There's my son Tony. But I need to do the correct things that will help me melt as a person, okay, and take the time to do that, because that's important too. I loved the start now and do it anyway. Did you guys catch that? Start now and do it anyway. Even when you don't feel like it. Even when it doesn't look like all your ducks in a row. The right timing, the right this, the right that. Do it anyway, okay? Write a specific plan for each gap that applied to you and take the first step of that plan today. Did anybody make like I said, I know it's all kind of thrown at you. So it said that now that you've gained insight about the gaps, what strategies can you create and implement to help you bridge the gaps? Write a specific plan for each gap that applied to you and take the first step. So did anybody write a little plan to help bridge the gap? Anybody get to that yet? That'll be your homework for the next 2 weeks, okay? And we're going to be, the way to grow is going to be a little different in the sense that we're going to be going live on Facebook and giving you small trainings at a time. And this, hopefully, the next time, we'll read the next 2 chapters, okay? We'll give everybody plenty of time to catch up. And I'd really love for you guys to interact or tell me how you're applying this stuff to your life, okay? There might be a lot more people on the next call because I think a lot of people forgot, all right? Because I invited quite a few more than are on here. But the most important thing is that you can apply these principles to your life and make a difference. What's going to happen is you're going to get so laser focused on what you need to do and what you need to change that things can't help but get better for you. Okay, they can't. You won't be able to control how they change because you're doing the right stuff. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. And the first thing is by having your show schedule the where it needs to be. And then the second thing is by being intentional about returning phone calls, about making those customer care calls, about wearing PC logo. You want to attract attention to yourself so that you can connect with people and have the conversation. What's your favorite product? You know, let me, before I end, I wanted to not have this be longer than an hour. I want to make sure you understand how to handle no thank you. Because I think a lot of times we're so afraid of the no that we don't go for the yes, okay? So not only do I want you to go for no, I want you to understand how to handle it. And the way you handle a no thank you. Who wants to role play with me? Want to role play with me? Tina?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, even though I've wowed you with my personality, no, what I want you to do is I want you to say no thank you. Okay. Okay. So Tina, I'm calling you the next day. All right. And Tina, I just want to thank you so much for all all the input you put in about the manual food processor. I got to tell you, I sold 6 of them last night because of you. And I wanted to personally thank you because of all you said about how you use it in your kitchen. And I want to say thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. When I see someone like you and I see how much you love our products, I find it my duty to call you the next day because I want you to know that you're the perfect personality or the perfect, however you want to say it, but you're someone that would do very well at what I do. And I would really love to work with you. And I know that you're not expecting to get a phone call like this, but I want to just really point out that I think you'd really be good at what I do. Would you consider meeting with me?
Nah, I'm really not interested in a job right now, Pampered Chef. I really like the products, but I don't really think I could do that.
Okay.
I don't think I could do your job.
Yeah. Well, Tina, thank you for considering it for a minute. But what I want to do is I want to plant a seed because I really, really think that we would work well together. And I think that I could help you earn a lot of money. And I know everybody loves a little extra money, whether it's for a retirement fund, a vacation, a house payment, whatever it may be. But I would love to help you just in 4 hours a week, help you earn $500 to $750 a month. Okay. But I totally respect timing is everything. So what I would like to encourage you to do is consider this a seed planted. Okay. And if ever you would like to water or fertilize that seed, I would love to work with you. Okay. But I'm totally respectful that no, thank you. I get it. But I want to be able to stay in contact with you a little bit. Would you mind if I put you on my very preferred customer list and sent you something once every 2 to 3 months, maybe a season's best or a new catalog or a recipe or two, so that if ever you change your mind, you'll know that I would love, I want to be the one you call. What do you think about that, Tina?
That would be great. That would be great.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And you guys, it's not about perfect words. It's about planting the seed. It's about making yourself, I had someone in training on Friday night and this afternoon. And the gal that was at my show this afternoon, she's done 2 shows. I went to her grand opening. She's my personal recruit. And she has 10 shows on her calendar over the next 2 months. And she's 6 months pregnant. And she works a full-time job. And she has a 2-year-old. Okay. So just saying. But anyway, she has 10 shows on her calendar in October and November, and they're all live cooking shows. None of them are catalog shows or virtual shows or anything, because I really encouraged her that live, especially at the beginning, is the way to go, because you're setting the foundation of your business. And I said to her today, I said, so Suzanne, hopefully you saw that this is not brain surgery. Hopefully you saw that anything I did, you can do. All right. Hopefully you saw that I wasn't Polly perfect. In fact, I think you did a better show than I did, and we laughed about that. She had everything perfect on her table. And when you looked at my table when it was done compared to her table, okay, seriously, my table was a mess. But that does, and I'm not saying you need to be messy, but what I am saying is you need to be someone that, okay, think of your audience. You want every person to think about putting that apron on. You want every person to say, you know what? He's just having fun and making money. And you know what? I think I could be better than her. That's what you want people to think, okay? You need to be good enough to make them want to do business with you, but not Polly perfect. If people are telling you that you should have your own cable show, you're being too good, okay? Stop it, because you're not reproducible. One of the things that some people struggle with, especially the people with super high sales, okay? They're not always the best recruiters because they are just blowing people away with what they know and all that kind of stuff. It's not about you guys, it's about them, all right? It's about them having a great time. It's about them connecting with you. It's about them seeing you reading a recipe. I have to tell you, I've done the same recipe for this whole summer. I know the recipe like the back of my hand. I don't even need to look at what the ingredients are. But I read the recipe on the sheet protector so people can say, oh, I can do that. I can give people a few ideas. And I let people know everything I've taught you, I have learned from the Pampered Chef. I didn't even have home ec. So many of you are more formally trained than I am, okay? But you know what? Make them laugh. You know, make fun of yourself a little bit. Enjoy your shows. Interact with people. They will want to do business with you, whether it's through a booking or through recruiting. And recruiting, it sounds like you guys got your calendars in place. So recruiting is where we want to be. That's what I really want you guys to focus on over the next 10 weeks is recruiting, recruiting, recruiting. Because we want you to double or more your team, okay? And if you're not a director yet, we want you to get to directorship by December 1st. Okay, at the very latest. There's no reason you can't even do it in November. If your show is strong, if your show schedule is strong enough, I'm going to end with this. If your show schedule is strong enough, think about it. If you're doing the 4,000 to 5,000 yourself because you're working twice a week, okay, when you recruit those people, they only have to do one show or a catalog show. They only have to turn in $150 in sales to be active. So you need 5 people, all active, with the 5,000 in sales. So think about that. If you're doing the majority of the sales, all you need to do is get those people active and rolling. Do you see? And then to keep directorship, you and your team just have to do 5,000. You don't have to have 5 people active every time. But I don't even want you to stop and breathe when you recruit 5. I want you to get to 10 before you take a breath. Because I want you to be growing at a pace and have you and your team doing that together. I mean, challenge yourself to, if you were a brand new consultant, you would be doing fast track, right? Technically, when I came back, I did fast track. When you think about 5 people in 3.5 weeks, okay? So, and then they qualified, all right? But challenge yourself to something. Give yourself something you want. If you do 5 recruits in the next 60 days, what is something you've been longing for? All right. Now, maybe it's a little time at the spa. Maybe it's that special person at Brighton. Whatever it may be, challenge yourself and then give yourself a gift for doing a job well done. Okay. Only you know what you're willing to work for. In my vitamin, in the daily vitamin, I said, if you knew you were going to lose your house in 2 months' time, what would you do differently today? What would you do differently to make some money so you wouldn't lose your house? Have that kind of attitude. Have that kind of, there's another kitty. Have that kind of urgency. Okay? I know. Surprised mine aren't walking across it. But have that kind of urgency and intentional. Make a plan, the law of intentionality. Be intentional about everything you do, and then it will be easier. You won't even have to think about it later. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And it's just habits and routines, I don't even think about what calls I need to make. I just need to do them. I don't have to think about that I have to make phone calls. I just need to know who is on my calendar next. Does that make sense? I said that the opposite way. So anyway, thank you for spending this time with me. And I think I'm going to do this every other week. But if I find that you guys want it, like Don McDonald's group wants it every Sunday night, I'm going to kind of poll you guys. So look for a little email over the next week or so asking you if you want to get together weekly or every other week. I just know everybody's really busy right now at this time of year. So, so anyway, thank you for spending this hour with me. I hope you learned some new things. I hope you're encouraged. Get your books, read to chapter 3, and it's the law of awareness and the law of the mirror. Awareness is you must know yourself to grow yourself. That's a little scary. And then the law of the mirror, you must see value in yourself to add value. Excuse me. Yes, you must see value in yourself to add value to yourself, okay? So you need to have a little bit of, what do I do really well? What do I, and you guys know that. You know what you do really well, what comes super easy to you. So thank you for spending this time with me, and I look forward to seeing all of you grow. I will be calling you, so hopefully I've got everybody listed that wants to be on this, and I've got them on the list. They were coming in fast and furious, so if I missed something, if you don't get an email in the next 2 or 3 days, email me and let me know that I've missed you, okay? But like I said, when we put this out there, they were coming in fast and furious, and I lost one of my main office help, so I'm going to try and do this just with me. So anyway, thank you guys, and God bless you. Have a great week or two, and read your books, okay? All right. And let me know, email me your successes. Email me, hey, I talked to 3 people about recruiting. 1 signed up. Email me so I can keep in touch with you. And let the group on Facebook know too. That's all about interaction and successes. So everybody can be encouraged with everyone's success, okay? All right. Sounds good. See you guys later. God bless, okay?
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Very welcome. Have a good night.